how's it going? My name is Joy and this is NX Joy. Today we're doing a pick a card reading on what am I learning? It's just going to be a fun little quick pick a card on what you're learning at the moment just to help you through the life lesson that you're going through. And yeah, so we have 4 piles today. We have pile 1 with this green calcite. We have pile 2 with this honey calcite. We have pile 3 with this trilobite. And pile 4 with this epiphyllite. I don't know if you can see it well, but yeah. All right. So as always, you can pause here and meditate on your pile to choose. But if you already know your pile, I'll see you there. Hi, my pile ones. If you've chosen this green calcite, then this is your pile. All right. So it's a big boy. So what green calcite is, we're first going to go into your thematic card, and then I'm going to tell you a bit about green calcite, and we're just going to go on the rest of the reading on the question of what am I learning. So we'll start with what green calcite is. So green calcite is an energy amplifier that can clear and activate the heart chakra. It helps by healing and releasing emotionally suppressed trauma. Allows the heart/soul to express love in action. Has been used to rid the body of infections. Calcite in general is a great stone for studying. Alright. So what you're learning right now, choosing this green calcite, you're either dealing with something related to the heart. You can be healing and releasing emotionally suppressed trauma. Or you might just be studying. Either way, we'll look more into it. So, okay. So you have the card learning. In terms of what are you learning? Apparently you're learning. You have the affirmation, I am learning, the practical step, journal. Take the time to reflect on your day or thoughts. Can be a valuable experience. Through journaling, you can move energy, see patterns in your thoughts and emotions, and discover insights to problems. Journaling can assist you in releasing emotions that interfere with your clear thinking. Journaling helps you learn about yourself. Breathe deeply a few times to relax and begin writing. There is no correct or incorrect method. You can write whatever you like. You are learning about you and your life. Yeah, okay, so this is an interesting pile because the question is, what am I learning? And you have the card learning. So it definitely feels like you are learning about yourself. You're learning about some of the ways you respond and react to certain emotions, how you might get triggered, how that makes you feel. I'm seeing in my head like a reel of an artist doing some work on basically demon work, where she kind of classifies some of the emotions that she's demonized and she paints it so that she can get a clearer view and what it looks like and how it affects her and how it responds to her and how she can create a better relationship with that. So it definitely feels like you're doing some quite strong inner work right now by facing your demons, by making friends with your demons and learning about them through different avenues. So I can see someone journaling, obviously, but like I can also see someone being at school, because I'm taking to the time where I've been at school, and the classes I've chosen were a reflection of what I needed to work on, when things I needed to kind of understand better, things I needed to learn about. And whenever I see those things. I recognize from the Tibetan Dream Journal book that anything in your waking life is really a reflection of yourself, just like your dreams. And sometimes that's a hard pill to swallow, because not everything is as, peaches and cream as we'd like it to be, but sometimes we have to swallow the pill, and just kind of learn about all sides of ourselves. And it might be a bit hard sometimes, but it is definitely a valuable experience for you to be able to face whatever you're going through right now and reflect upon yourself, so that you can know yourself better and know how you can handle it better. Because in the end, emotional control is very valuable. Emotional control will grant you a life where you get to live authentically, and you won't have to store all those suppressed emotions in your body. You'll be able to just kind of live freely without any kind of health concerns, to be honest. If you look at someone's health, you can usually track it down to 4 different body types. So you first have your physical body, obviously, but you also have your mental body, and you also have your emotional body, and you also have your ethereal body. There are more bodies that people talk about. Some people talk about the astral body, some people talk about a lot of stuff like that, but in any way you talk about it, the message here is that every single body part affects each body part. For example, if you're very stressed, it shows up on your body as high blood pressure. If you are very anxious, you could be dealing with eczema right now. If you are really depressed, you might not be taking care of your physical body like you used to. There might be a fluctuation of weight, there might be hygienic concerns, and it's because your body is in deep rest, because it does need all this rest and energy just to focus on surviving. So anything extra feels kind of intense, feels a little bit too much. And I say this out of a experiential type of learning that I've done. So if you're in that position, if you can't get out of bed, if you're doom scrolling, if you're freezing right now because life is lifing, then just know that you're not alone. You will get through this, and that all things come to pass. Yeah. Okay. But it definitely feels like with this pile, with you, my dear, that you are learning. Because that message, it won't be up for everyone. That's just going to be for people that resonate with that. But with you, my dear, you're understanding and accepting the fact that you need to know yourself in order to really have a life that you want. It feels like you might be someone who's in therapy, or you've read How the Body Keeps Score by Dr. Bessel van der Kolk. It feels very much like you're someone who's actively taking initiatives to put yourself in a position where you're facing yourself. Yeah. And if you're not journaling, that's okay. I have gotten that message and I have a hard time journaling. So in whichever way you like to express yourself or reflect upon yourself, like even tarot readings are an act of self-reflection and learning about the self. So it doesn't always have to be journaling, You just being here right now and understanding this is an act of self-love, an act of self-care, an act of reflection. Because again, this is not easy work to be able to face yourself and understand these different concepts about what life is and how to make decisions based off that. So especially when it comes to emotions too, being able to manage your emotions and have that emotional stability will definitely help you in the long run and in the short term in regards to your health, whether that be physical, mental, ethereal, you know? Because I know that whenever I'm anxious or I'm upset, I end up sleeping a lot, having a hard time falling asleep, sweating throughout the night, having nightmares, all these very ethereal-esque, physical-esque things that happen when my emotional body isn't regulated. So it really feels like what you're learning right now is being able to emotionally navigate yourself and reflect on why you respond to some things and what triggers you. Let's go deeper. Let's go deeper into what's triggering. Oh, I guess I was gonna say what you're learning, but like what's triggering you right now. So what are my pile ones being triggered by? You have the Seven of Wands, I believe. What's triggering my pile number 1? Thank you. We have the Queen of Cups. What's triggering? Thank you. You also have the Four of Wands in reverse. All right, we're gonna keep to that in regards to what's triggering you at the moment. Okay, so I said this was the Seven of Wands, but I can definitely be mistaken, and this definitely looks more like it could be the Swords card. Yeah, okay. I will also look up the Seven of Wands, just because if I've said that, then it could be important. So this card is commonly called the Thief. Someone, not necessarily you, is trying to get away with some mischief, perhaps trying to take what isn't rightfully theirs. Whoever it is needs to face the music. The only way to ease the pressure is by dealing with the situation head on. It's wise to hold tight to your assets right now, emotional, intellectual, or otherwise. Be alert to other people's deceptions. Yeah, so this kitty has its claws out. So there's something going on under your nose that you know is happening. I feel like someone might be stealing your energy. Someone might be betraying you in some sort of way. Someone might be gaslighting you, manipulating you, or kind of like leaving you out to dry right now. Literally taking something that's not rightfully theirs. And with you, it feels like you're this Queen of Cups. You're kind of like, you kind of know, but you're like processing it, and you're kind of chilling. You're kind of just reflecting. You're probably in a deep state of rest. But you recognize that there's some lies and deception right now going on with you. Yeah, you're in your comfort zone right now. And as of right now, you're giving yourself a lot of love and kindness and compassion, and you're doing a lot of self-care, which we love to see with this Queen of Cups here. but it definitely feels like it might have to do or deal with if you believe in twin flames, no shame, but like, or soulmates, partnerships, someone that's very close to you, you know, someone that like you feel like you've had a past life with, someone that you might have spent a lot of time with, someone who's very intimate, someone who's at your heart space or has been close to you enough for you to feel like they are in your heart space, you know. It definitely feels like there's an unease with the Four of Wands in reverse. As you can see, like one of the kitty cats is just sniffing some lavender while the other kitty cat's playing with the wand. So it feels like you're this kitty cat sniffing the lavender. You are off just self-caring, self-soothing, making sure that you're all right, because you know something is going on behind your back, you know, literally behind your back, because of the cat's back turned toward that. And you're just kind of taking care of yourself right now. So what's triggering you is someone's deception, someone's lies, this instability. You might feel neglected or out of place or separated from loved ones. And yeah, so like right now what you're doing is probably just refocusing on yourself and focusing on everyday pleasures. You probably are someone who's trying to keep the connection alive. And this person is not really like, they don't bring the same energy, you know? They're kind of being a bad, like, this could resonate as in a friend, a partner, family member, someone again who is close to you and in that heart space. And, you know, like, when someone is that close, it's going to need some time for you to process and deal with it. So I really commend you right now, because you're doing a great job. You're doing a wonderful job. With this Queen of Cups upright, you know what's going on. You're playing your cards right. You're self-caring. You are doing you. And when the time comes, just know that their karma is going to come. Their bad karma that they've accumulated, because people who wrong you are definitely going to have their comeuppance. And you don't have to do anything about it, you know? This is either going to be like you're going to find out something, you're going to, spirit, divine source, your ancestors, your spiritual team has your back in making sure that you have the knowledge on how to move forward with this connection. But right now you're doing wonderful, sweetie. You're doing so good, because you're just focusing on yourself and you're focusing on how this is affecting you. It feels like you are someone who, again, with this green calcite, you're just studying yourself. You're studying, why is this happening to me? What in my past has made me feel like this before? What do I need to revisit in myself in order to heal from this? What can I do to bring myself in a space where I can feel comfortable, where I can feel safe, where I can feel like I can express love and action towards myself, you know? I'm a little nosy, so we're gonna get a couple of cards. We're gonna get the question of, what is this person's karma? And then we're also gonna get some self-care and therapist cards just to end it off. So what is this person's karma? What is this person's karma? You have the Eight of Cups in reverse. What is this person's karma? They have the World. Definitely a karmic card. What is this person's karma? I have death. Okay, it's not gonna be a literal death. I really hope not. We're not about like like that intense like kind of karma. But there's gonna be definitely an ending to person's world. They're gonna understand and see that their lack of effort, their lack of appreciation, their lack of being able to be generous and kind, and their lack of intuition they have, it's gonna really bite them in the butt. It's really going to make their world change. You know, it's going to, they're going to have to kind of swim in their own emotions about this and recognize all the shit that they've done and how they've hurt you and how they've been a rat, how they've been deceptive, how they've been betraying you. And yeah, it feels like it's going to ignite this aspect of a new beginning for them. Like with death always comes a new beginning, right? So they're going to have to look at themselves and the ways in which they've treated you and realize how shitty they've been, and they're gonna have to live with that guilt. That's what I'm like seeing so far. Yeah, with this Eight of Cups, it's like they have to take a long, hard look at themselves, and they have to examine their feelings of disappointment, and they're gonna feel like they're not enough. But yeah, they're clinging on to something that they might have really wanted in the past or really like loved in the past, but it will be slipping away with this World and the Death card. Those are two major arcana cards. So something big in their life is going to happen for them to realize what a shitty person they've been, really. Yeah, it's a pretty big transformation. They're gonna have to release the unhealthy things that they've been doing. Yeah, so there's gonna be quite a big ending with the World card and the Death card. Something good in their life is going to end, and they're going to need to like recognize that, and they're going to be able to like, they're going to have to jump ship. So their karma is that like whatever is going on in their life, anything that kind of feeds like a false positivity, feeds like or enables them to do bad habits, things that like are very central to their world, they're gonna have to like, that's gonna end, and they're gonna really feel the sense of disappointment in themselves. They're gonna feel the sense of unworthiness. They're gonna have to really live with the guilt, excuse me, the shame, the regret of how they treated you. That's their karma. Yeah. That is their karma for treating you like and betraying you and like going behind your back or like stealing something that wasn't theirs, stealing your energy, your time, your beautiful self, your amazing, your confidence. Like your energy is golden, and honestly, like it feels like you're not gonna have to do a lot with you just kind of like taking a step back, you doing your own thing, you being the lovely, wonderful person that you are, you being, you know, just a generous human being, someone that is super kind, who is super loving with this Queen of Cups card. You are going to be able to just focus on yourself, and you won't have to live with that guilt or that disappointment or that unworthiness that this other person's gonna feel. You're just gonna shake it off. Whatever the situation is, you're gonna shake it off. And I know that is a little like It's a little hard to hear sometimes because it was someone that is really close to you, but like, you know, sometimes they need to learn their own lessons. They need to be able to self-reflect. They need to be able to realize that they can't treat people like that. They can't treat people that they supposedly love in the ways where it's not right, you know? All right. So what are some, thank you. So you have chanting, some self-care. I was gonna say, what are some self-care things you can do right now? So chanting, being able to be in your own energy, in your own space, doing affirmations, connecting to the divine, maybe doing some yoga, maybe meditating. You're already doing it. I'm not gonna lie. It feels like you're already doing it. Even by watching this tarot reading right now, it feels like this is just confirmation in your head. This is just, again, a reflection of your badass self. To be able to recognize that you're doing it. You're already in alignment. You already have self-care. You have this golden aura that's really just surrounding you and protecting you at this time. So like, it just really feels like you're unbothered. My unbothered deity, we love to see. Okay, last card is this emotional support deck from my therapist deck, which I absolutely love. It's one of my favorite decks because it's just so darn cute. All right, and we're gonna just pick this one. Oh, you don't have to be perfect to be loved, my dear. We're gonna do another one because these are so freaking cute. And these two wanted to come out, so we'll let it come out. You have anxiety lies. There's no doom incoming. You're managing everything just fine. You really are. You're really that bitch. And you also have stop calling yourself garbage. You are a blueberry fairy princess. You are amazing. So the person that has mistreated you, that has done you wrong, they really just kind of gave you and prompted you into this self-learning, self-reflecting shadow work that was really something that you kind of aced, you know? Just by sitting through this, just by going through the motions, just by understanding yourself and why this is happening, and taking the initiative to learn this about yourself, you are coming out, you're coming up on top. You know, you're the one that's not gonna have to deal with the self-loathing, the disappointments, the thievery that this person has done, the manipulation that this person has done, you know? You're just gonna be this unbothered queen. For real. And I know it might hurt right now, and it might like suck, because, you know, you never want loved ones treating you this way, but just know that their karma is coming. You know, their ending is coming. The things that have been enabling them to do bad habits, they will see the truth and they will not like it. And they will really self-reflect on how they treated you. And, you know, they're not going to feel good about themselves. They're really not. You know, something's going to end for them. And it's going to be quite an abrupt, maybe not abrupt, but like maybe abrupt, but like it's gonna be an ending that really packs a punch, you know? It's really gonna get them. But yeah, so just know that you are perfect. You don't have to be perfect to be lovable. That right now your anxiety is lying, and you're doing great. You're doing so good, and you are amazing. You're a blueberry fairy princess, and you know, no one should, like, anyone who does hurt you will get their comeuppance. Yeah, I feel very protective over you because you are such a lovely human being. And just know that this person will get their karma, their bad karma, because they accumulated it and they chose what they chose, and you chose what you chose. So all you're going to be doing is just being you and your lovely self. So yeah, that's what I have for you today, my dear pile ones. My green calcites. You know, you are going to be able to open up your heart and have this wonderful reflective state where you will continue to open up your heart chakra and be able to make decisions based off your heart chakra, while like this other person, they won't. You know, their heart it'll be something hard for them to really like look at. You know, they might not be able to face themselves in the mirror. They're just going to feel a lot of deep shame and regret over what they've done. And yeah, so with that is your reading. I thought this would be a lot quicker, but you know, Divine Source just wanted you to really get these messages. So here we are. Again, I'm wishing you the best because you are amazing. Again, doing this work is hard. And the fact that you show up for yourself is just, it says so much about you. The fact that you can be your own best friend says so much about you. And you know, this other person, they're missing out. They really are. And they know it. They know that they're missing out. So, you know, I was watching a pick a card reading earlier today, and it was saying, sometimes people that admire you are also really envious of you. And it's not because you did anything wrong. It's because they are not healed. They don't know how to put in that emotional work. They don't know how to self-reflect. So they just project it onto you. Let me just shout out that reading. Yeah, it was by Psychic Siren Tarot. It's called What Do People Admire Yet Envy About You? Yeah, so if you have a chance to check it out. She's a great reader, very lovely. But yeah, that's all I have for you today. Keep shining, keep being you, because the people who don't deserve you will fall, and you will replace that with your own self-love, your own healing, and new people. Yeah. All right. Take care, my dear pile ones, and I'm wishing you the best day. Bye. Hi, my pile twos. If you've chosen this honey calcite, this is your reading. I love honey calcite. Honey calcite's gotten me through so much shit. Like, honestly, honey calcite's that bitch. And I just saw 2-2 on the clock, so you might be dealing with some personal relationships right now, especially having this honey calcite, because what honey calcite is, it's a stone of joy. It's a collector of positive energy. It stimulates one to break out of old patterns and take new directions in life. It helps overcome fear and improve sense of self-worth. It can help remove restrictive patterns caused by sexual or emotional abuse. You know, I want this to be able to be a safe space to talk about things that are a little bit more sensitive, a little bit more deep, a little bit more not widely talked about in everyday conversation. You know, that's why I usually do tarot, to be honest, is to understand emotional blockages and to self-reflect as well. So with you and the question of what am I learning, it definitely feels like it has to do with a lot of self-worth, proving your self-worth, and how that fits into relationships. But we will get more these two cards, these thematic cards, and then more cards later, just to see if this vibes. All right, so what you're learning is unlimited perspective. The affirmation is, I have an unlimited perspective. The practical step is, I look for learning opportunities. Everything happens for a reason. Frequently, we have coincidental or synchronistic moments. Although some would say coincidence is accidental, it is not. Everything happens just as it should. Every situation provides an opportunity to learn. These opportunities are available to you for your growth and insight. An unlimited perspective, a perspective free of limiting beliefs, allows you to be open for learning opportunities. Enables you to look deeper beyond assumptions and expand your perception of your own self-growth. So I definitely want to preface this by saying, yes, unlimited perspective. Yes, understanding that everything that happens is a learning and self-growth kind of lesson. But I do want to just remind you that whatever ABUSC situation you have gone through was not your fault. It wasn't like people, a lot of the spiritual community will say, oh, you wrote it out before you came here and this is the lessons you want to learn. And it's just like, that's a little victim shaming, isn't it? That's a bit of a victim blaming mindset, isn't it? Yeah, I'm not condoning this happening to you. If you have gone through something like that, I'm deeply sorry for the hurt, the physical pain, the emotional pain, the mental strife, the blockages that are caused by this kind of behavior that is not right, that shouldn't have happened to you, that didn't need to happen to you in order for you to learn this. Again, it's a rhetoric that I really don't like. It's not like you needed to go through this to learn this. And it's okay to be upset, and it's okay to be mad, and it's okay to feel all the feelings that you're feeling right now, because what happened to you wasn't right, and really it wasn't your fault. It wasn't something that you planned for yourself. You are someone who did your best with the situation that was brought forward, and moving forward you understand why it happened and how it's never going to happen again in your life. You know, like, that's what I get from this card. It's not like, oh, now I'm so much wiser, let me go through this again. No. No. It feels like with this honey calcite as well, it feels like you are now at a space where a safe enough space where you can revisit these really shitty behaviors, these really shitty patterns that were restrictive, these really toxic, and again, ABUSIVE patterns that were not right and you didn't deserve, and you really shouldn't ever have to go through ever again, you know? It feels like you are away from this person now, or if not, it feels like this person has done the work in order to change and recognizes the hurt they've caused and recognizes what it takes in order to be in your life, you know? Nobody's perfect, and I'm not trying to let them off the hook. No, they're still, like, you know what they did. They know what they did. You know what they did, and what they did was wrong. Like, point blank, period. It was wrong. But, you know, in order for this to move forward, I think you've come to an understanding of self-growth, of self-compassion, that you recognize what your boundaries are, what you're allowing to happen, and the ways in which you're protecting yourself moving forward. It feels like you are probably very empathetic, very kind, very sweet and loving, very much a person who has gone through this sort of trauma in your past. And it feels like you are breaking that pattern. You're no longer willing to take this kind of behavior towards yourself, and you're really looking at ways in which you can care for yourself and heal yourself and not let that happen to you again. And with that, we have the other card, Dream. The affirmation is, I live my dream. The practical step is, snap the rubber band. We all have a dream of who we want to become, what we want to create, and how we want to live. What is your dream? Does your inner voice provide you with reasons why you can't have your dream? Why you aren't good enough? Why your dream is impossible? Place a rubber band around your wrist, and every time your inner voice presents an objection to your dream, snap that rubber band hard. Oof. Then replace that objection with a positive affirmation and live your dream. All right, you don't have to do the rubber band method. That is quite a form of self-affliction and, self-harm that, like, it's not like something that's like going to put you in a hospital, but like it's not something I also condone either. I think there are different ways you can do this. For example, being on this reading right now, giving yourself time to reflect, some time to rest, time to just be in your own energy, in your own space, in a safe space, especially, where you can kind of decode everything that's happened, process everything that's happened, and then emotionally release everything that's happened. I think that's a bit more kind than, snapping a rubber band on your wrist. But you do you, I'm not you. You can live out your life. I'm not condoning it. I don't like self-harm practices. But if it is something that you need, if you need that tough love, and it's not really, okay, oh my God, what am I saying? Like, it's not like tough love. It's not like love, like it is a form of tough love for sure. But like, again, there are different ways you can do it. Anytime you catch yourself thinking like, oh, like I'm not good enough, or I'm not allowed to do this because so-and-so said, you don't have to do the rubber band thing, but like you can do the rest of it and be like, wait, being able to catch yourself in those moments of self-doubt, of self-deprecation, and mentally being able to move past it by being like, wait, why am I thinking that? No, that's not me, because that isn't you. That really isn't you. Being able to do just that is something that is so valuable, so strong. Being able to have that control over your mind, over your thoughts, is something that will really help you. And one of the ways in which I recommend strengthening the mind is what everyone says, but it is true. It is meditation. As someone who's neglected meditating for a couple years and has gone back into it just recently, the last month I've taken some time, because now I am in a safe space where I can actually take time to myself to meditate, has done wonders in regards to my mental health and being able to just kind of catch those moments. I'm getting so emotional right now, so apologies. I'm so sorry. I'm trying to be professional about this. But yeah, not to make this about me either, just as an example of, I recognize and I've been there, and I know that it's hard, especially when you're in survival mode, to kind of get yourself to that point. But it feels like you are at a safe place right now. You are in a safe vicinity. You are in a safe environment to be yourself. And with that kind of privilege, honor, that kind of environment, I feel like you should take advantage of it and be able to just give yourself some time to meditate, give yourself some time to release. You know, meditation isn't always just about sitting there and breathing. You know, a big part of it is. Don't get me wrong, that's the main part. But it's also being allowed to have that space for your thoughts to come up and for you to not judge them. And for you to, well, in the meditation that I practice, which is Vipassana meditation, it's where you allow whatever thoughts to come up and you don't judge it. You just bring yourself back to the awareness of it and back to the breath so that you can breathe it out, so that you can process it, so that you can understand and acknowledge it, observe it, be aware of it, and let it go. That is Vipassana. So yeah, if you're having an interesting time or a hard time dealing with a lot of your past experiences, past pains, past ABUSIVE situations, then I highly recommend you take some time to meditate. Yeah. Oof, okay, yeah, so and whatever relationships that have caused this to happen, just know again that it's not your fault. You were doing your best with what you had, and you know now how to move forward and how much you're never gonna put yourself in that situation. You know, you're really in this state of healing those restrictive patterns and healing your self-worth and improving your self-worth. That is also why I love honey calcite, by the way. So if you ever had a chance to go and grab some honey calcite, I highly recommend. It's been, I put it next to like my bedside for a while, for the last few months, and it's really helped, for the past few months, and it's really helped me kind of have a physical reminder that I am improving my self-worth, that I am safe, that I am at home in my body, that I'm allowed to be in my body, and that I'm allowed to be myself. Yeah. Oh wow, I really didn't expect this to be an emotional one. I really did not. But thank you for holding space and letting me tell that story. I hope it resonates with you, and I hope it brings you comfort knowing that you're not alone going through these trials and tribulations and really unwanted experiences, and that you doing it, just know that you're in a safe space right now on this channel to be able to just kind of breathe, and relax. You don't have to fully even be listening to this. You can be doing the dishes, or you can use this to just fall asleep. It doesn't matter to me, as long as you feel like you're healing, as long as you feel like you're in your own energy and you're safe in your own energy. That's what means the world to me, honestly. So thank you for coming to this channel and being you, and providing yourself with this kind of healing process. It's not easy, and not a lot of people are up to that challenge, so go you. Yeah. All right, but let's continue on with the reading on what you're learning. So what are my top pile twos learning? You have strength in reverse. What are my pile twos learning? You have the Ace of Swords. What are my pile twos learning? You have the Five of Pentacles. What are my pile twos learning? What are my pile twos learning? Okay. I'm being called to just go off these three cards. So yeah, let's do it. Okay. Excuse me. All right, so with the Strength in reverse, this is a card that reminds you to draw on the strength you may have forgotten that you have. Even house cats can roar. And it feels, I'm being drawn to the infinity sign on the collar of this cat. So it feels like you are someone who's balancing out how to emote healthfully and how to talk about this with your loved ones, talk about this with the people in your past that have done you wrong, talk about this with your therapist, people you feel safe about, with yourself even. This is, again, what you're learning right now is being able to remind yourself that you have such a strength, that you have such an endurance, that you have such self-love and self-compassion that you can process this. You can go forward with this new beginning, you know, with this Ace of Swords. It's always a new beginning. And it's always with the Swords card. Swords are commonly known as communicative cards, as protection cards as well, because a sword protects. So moving forward, you will know how to calmly address the situations of what's happening and allow yourself this healing time, this basically the self-grooming time, you know. Self-care is very important, you know. And it feels like with this Five of Pentacles, Five of Pentacles usually is about downtrodden events that's happened. But with this card, it feels a little different. Yeah, this card, it reminds us of the potential emotional hardship of the outside world, the threat of eating out of trash cans, sleeping in cold garages, and the other travails of street cat life. Some interpretations, though, are far cheerier, focusing on wealth we find in love and companionships. But it definitely feels like this is recognizing the emotional hardship that you've gone through, all the past experiences you've gone through, and having hope for the future still, of having hope for your dreams, of having hope for yourself, of having hope that you will create a life where you really enjoy it and you don't have to go through all this bullshit. It really feels like what you're learning right now is to be able to process all these emotions in a healthy, safe manner and be able to sit with your emotions. You know how many people I know that can't even sit with their emotions? They just distract themselves with video games or doom scrolling. I've done that. I'm not shaming them. I've done that. But it is much harder to also look at your emotions, which I've also done, and process through them and process and grieve over the past experiences that kept you down. You know, you might be in a situation where, again, things are changing in the world a lot. I know I mentioned this patriarchy thing literally almost in every one of my videos, but it is because it is changing so that the old traditions of patriarchal norms of the past are being dismantled for a new beginning, for something that is a lot more feminist in the ways in which women have the bodily autonomy that they deserve, where women can be in positions of power, where they can be in political positions of power, especially in order to change and disrupt the system, because the system is not working. And if you've been in those kind of scenarios where you've been restrictive of being yourself because of the fact that there are these patriarchal norms just planted on you, you know how hard it is to deal with entitled people, manipulative people, people who don't care about anything or anyone but themselves, or feel that because they are who they are, they can treat you badly. You've gone through that, you recognize that, and you're no longer accepting that. Hence why I really do preach feminism in my videos, because of the fact that it gives this empowerment to everybody to know that the way of restrictive patriarchal norms is not normal. It's not healthy. It's not welcoming to emotional kinds of communication. You know, it feels like now what you're learning is to be open to that, is to be open to your emotions, to be open to yourself, and to be open to this new beginning of self-care and self-love that you 100% deserve. All right, what kind of self-care? Thank you. And you have deep breathing, confirmation with the meditation. And you also have take a walk, which is another form of meditation. So yeah, if you don't like sitting down and just breathing, you can also do, you can do walks, getting the body moving, getting the body flowing, and being able to release your thoughts that way. Being able to just kind of be in a different headspace, because you've had the whole world on your shoulders. You know, you've had the whole world that like just the whole universe just at the forefront of your mind. You probably have to take care of so many other people before taking care of yourself. So you really deserve this time and space for yourself to really heal yourself, to really nurture yourself, to really have this potential for spiritual growth. And spiritual growth is really just connecting back to the self. It's a very natural process of being able to be like, yes, this is what I've gone through, this is what's happened, and now I release it. And that's not an easy thing to do. Again, like, I know people, my own mother has a hard time like opening up because she thinks it's strong to just keep it all in. But like, it's I don't think that's a healthy way to live. I don't think that's a way to continue your life, because if you hold on to that past, it'll just drag you down. You'll just continue to accumulate all this emotional baggage that you don't want. And that's what you know that, and you know that you want to live in a dream where like you get to really fully be yourself and fully heal yourself, and really just have this space of getting to know who you are, what you want, and what like how you want to live. So it's something you definitely deserve. So yeah, self-care things right now, that would be great for you. Again, you don't have to do it, but I think it would be great. Divine Source thinks it would be great for you to just take some time to deep breathe, you know, take some time to take a walk, just be in yourself, be with yourself. If you have a friend that you can go for walks with or can emotionally talk to, that will be really helpful. And then only do it with people you feel safe enough to share your story with. But you already know that. So we're gonna get a couple of cards to end your reading. Get some therapests for some emotional support, because we love therapests. Okay, you have, wow, this has come up quite a lot. Anxiety lies, there's no doom incoming, and you're managing everything just fine. If you're anxious about it coming back, just know that you will protect yourself. You have Divine Source if you need to call upon your angels, your ancestors, your spiritual team to help give you guidance, protection, strength. If you need more ethereal beings to help you process all of this, just know that you can call on them. And just know that your anxiety is lying to you right now. People won't Like, normal people won't do this. Healthy people won't do this to you again, you know? And you'll be able to spot the differences. You also have, you can do the thing. So whatever thing you're needing to do right now or wanting to do, whether that's just go on a walk and get some gelato for yourself, or start that YouTube channel, or start influencing, you know, all the things that like you felt restricted on before, know that you can do the thing. You know, you got your back, divine source has got your back, and spiritual team's got your back. Trying your best is all that matters. The rest will fall into place. And one last card is you will survive this. Okay. Well, that is the reading I have for you, my dear pile number 2s. If you've stuck around this long and have listened to this whole thing with me, thank you so much. Thank you so much for being here and being you and doing you and healing yourself, and being able to emotionally process all the things that's happened to you, because that's not an easy journey, that's not an easy task, but you're learning something that's so much more valuable, which is being your own best friend, being self-compassionate, having that love for yourself that you can step into the dream life that you always wanted to live. Continue to always be kind and caring. Continue to always be yourself. I love you lots, pile 2. Take care. Hi, pile 3s. If you've chosen this trilobite, then this is your reading. Alright, so we're going to just do the reading on what am I learning, and we're going to do a little description of the trilobite and use this as a thematic card and get deeper into the reading. So trilobite helps to assist through transition, transformation, and personal growth. It supports the growth of moving from the old to the new, as well as opening one to be receptive to fresh, innovative energies. You have the card of positive attitude. Yeah. You have affirmation of I have a positive attitude, and the practical step is I speak only positive words. As I was growing up, my mother would say, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say it at all. Years later, I now understand the value of the spoken word. The energy that is attached to each word either increases or decreases the positive energy around you and others. Make a choice to be positive. Look for the good in every situation and person. Don't succumb to the negative energies of gossip and dislike. Rise above them. Use your voice to create a positive attitude within and around you. And I'm just gonna remind you that we're not vouching for toxic positivity. You know, we're not saying always be positive, even in really dire and dense situations. Like, for example, like there is literal people dying out in the world. There's like literally like a genocide going on, like almost everywhere, whether it be in Palestine, in the Congo, in Sudan. Like there are these terrible mistreatments happening to people, and it's not, we're definitely not saying, oh, just be positive about it, oh, like, you know, like don't feel your feelings and like spiritually bypass them. No, like this is definitely not that kind of reading. This is more of the recognition of understanding where you're at, understanding how a different mindset can change the world around you, and not in the ways in which you can't control. Especially, like, you know, if you are out in the West right now, or in a country not affected by the genocidal acts other countries are inflicting onto others, then know that there is a limited amount of space of which you can control and a limited amount of time you can control, and you're doing your best. And just know that even with what's happening in the world, being able to come from a place of love rather than hate, come from a place of changing for the better, of being there because you know those people would come from a place of love. You know, you've seen some atrocities go on, you've seen some terrible acts go on, but to move in a space of love still is to really change the game. And again, this is not to say like the people that are committing inhumane acts are deserving of your love. They're not. They're really not. But it's to say like, having a hope for humanity, for politicians, for people out there to rise above what's going on and care for one another. Like that is human evolution, to be able to care for one another, to lend a helping hand, to be there in times of great difficulties, to do the best you can with what you got, and not let the negativities of what's going on affect you in the way in which you move around the world, in the way in which you love about the world, in the way in which you love the world and the people around you. You know, yeah, and that's like, again, that's a hard message that you might have to hear right now, but there are diplomatic ways to move about it, diplomatic ways to recognize your feelings and being able to control your emotions and being able to healthily release that anger, release that frustration, release that grief will do much more in the long run than just wallowing in it, than just succumbing to it. You know, that's in reality, that's really what a lot of oppressors want you to do, is to succumb to those really negative attitudes, those really really harsh places of emotions. That's what they want you to do. What they don't expect of you is to love, is to continue loving, is to continue doing the actions you do, communicating in the ways in which you do, with love, with compassion, with kindness, focusing on the heroes, the martyrs, of the people who are making the difference. You know? If we all had a negative attitude towards what's going on right now, then that's a sign of giving up. That's a sign of not seeing that having hope, having this positive attitude is the shift, is the change, is the way in which we want to move about caring for one another. So yeah, like that's a hard message to to bring out, because again, I don't want to sound toxic positive. I really don't like preaching the message of that, and I don't preach the message of toxic positivity because that's more harmful than good, you know? If we were just like, oh yeah, let's just be positive about everything, like everything's fine. I'm getting that meme of that dog sipping like a cup of tea or something, and then in the background there's just like just this house burning on fire. I'm getting that. So like you know, like that's not positive. That's just ignorant, you know. Being positive would be like, oh, I know that we've just gone through this really intense fire, and but how can we rebuild? And shifting that focus on how to change the narrative, how to change the situation for solutions, how to be able to have those conversations is the difference. Yeah. All right, let's move into continue on the question of what you're learning. So what are my pile 3s learning? You have the 2 of Swords. You have the 9 of Swords. Thank you. You also have the Hangman. I wish they called it the Hanged Cat, but say Libby. Although it looks like doom and danger, this card isn't the disaster it appears to be. Your problems are of your own making and may not even be problems at all. You climb the tree, you'll be able to climb down. In the meantime, patience and a new perspective will serve you well. And yes, I'm reading off the book because each book has a different type of message sometimes when it comes to their cards. And I think sometimes messages just hit from the book, you know? Alright. With this 2 of Swords, you may be baffled by the situation around you or biased in your view of it. The 2 of Swords asks you to stretch, to broaden your horizons, and at least try to see things from an objective point of view. Is it the fear that's keeping you from seeing things clearly? Perspective is key. As well as the 9 of Swords in reverse. Unfortunately, there is no magic solution to all the worry, fear, and depression. That said, those negative feelings about yourself aren't helping. Retract your claws. Whatever this darkness is, the only way out is through. So yeah, this is, again, everything, these are just confirmation messages of what we've been saying. So in terms of what you're learning, you're really learning how to shift your perspective and recognize in ways in which you you are changing, in ways in which you can help, in ways in which you can have a different perspective so you're not putting yourself down all the time. It feels like you're giving yourself that kind of room to breathe and be able to recognize that there are some things in your control and there are some things out of your control, and the things out of your control shouldn't really bog you down, shouldn't really stop you from living your life, because that's not the point, you know? And I know right now on social media there's so much messages of guilt tripping, of being like, oh, like, you know, silence is a privilege, you know, like silence is being complicit. And it's just like, in some regards, yes. If someone has not said anything about these genocides since it's been happening, then that is being complicit. But if some people have been doing things, saying things, not every day, not all the time, but like when they can, when they have the energy to, when they can give that attention and time, then they're still doing things. You're still doing things. People might not see the changes that you're making, but like their judgment shouldn't really matter. You know yourself, you are a good person. You know yourself that you are really wanting this change. You know yourself that you would do anything to make it happen. So this is a pile for a reset of recognizing like what is in your capabilities and what is not. Like, for example, you might be supporting Palestinian-owned restaurants right now, but you don't have to like be performative about it and take a shot for the gram. You know what I mean? You don't have to do that. You know yourself, you're doing that because you want to do that, because you care about supporting this culture and making sure that it continues on, and is preserved, and the people's will is preserved. And again, if people don't see that, that's not your problem. You know yourself, you're a great person. You know yourself that you are a human who loves other humans. You know yourself that you want to see this change more than anybody else. So don't let the guilt tripping, the negative enforcements of people trying to project their own type of insecurities and project their own type of bullshit onto you, like, please don't let that affect you. Again, it feels like you're learning to really, again, you're learning to get through this. You're learning to get through and really deal with these emotions. You're really learning how to understand how your own mind, your perspective of things changes how the outcome is, changes how you go about your day-to-day life. And you're recognizing when it's healthy for you to be online and be in those spaces versus when it's unhealthy, and when you put yourself in this kind of hangman position of feeling upside down, feeling not right, feeling discombobulated, And I just saw 555 on the clock. So these are really big changes for you. This is a really big recognition of self and what, again, we keep going back to this, but it's what you're able to control versus what you're not. And knowing that you don't always have to be performative in order for your message to sink in for yourself, You know how you want to live and what you want to do to get to the place of solutions, of change, and you know that you're doing your best, But bad-mouthing people, focusing on the negatives, doing things out of fear isn't helping, and you know that. This is just a reminder of what you're learning right now, and like how you're learning to really combat that, how you're learning to get over that, learning how to still move in the ways you want to move in, which feels like of kindness, of love, of compassion, Just remember why you gotten into this and why you believe these things in the first place and why you are in this transition in the first place. It's to bring you back to yourself. It's to bring you back into having hope for the future. So it's not just doom and gloom. So you can unfreeze yourself, get out of the survival instinct, and do something. Do something for yourself. Do something for the cause that you are fighting for the cause that you are loving for. Okay. So what self-care things can my pile threes do at this time as they are learning this new transition of positivity? You create art. Yes. Create art. Do it. I don't care if you don't think you can draw or paint or sing or dance. Like, divine source doesn't care. You yourself probably don't care. You need a healthy outlet for your emotions. You really need this healthy outlet for your emotions to be able to really, really channel all the things that you've been like feeling into something productive, because having that inner body in your space is not doing you or anyone around you any good. It's not doing you, anyone around you, or the cause that you are loving for, that you are fighting for any good. It really isn't. For example, when I felt like no one was listening, when the continuation of basically the genocide happening in Palestine happened on October 7th, knowing that it started in 1948, but like recognizing that like the continuation of it just amplified. I had almost no one around me in my immediate vicinity to really support me. I had to fight loved ones to be heard about a situation. I had to really recognize that like putting myself in a depressive state, not being able to eat for myself that day, or being able to take care of myself and shower wasn't really doing anyone any good, But when I created art, when I started making my own posters, when I started to make my own paintings in regards to what's happening, I was able to finally emotionally release a lot of the tension that was built up in my body. And moving forward, I was able to talk to people in a very diplomatic way in which they can understand how their viewpoints of neutrality is just being an enabler to an oppressor, of kind of being able to talk to people so that like they recognize what they're doing is wrong, and not shaming them for it, but giving them the opportunity to change. You also have make a vision board. Oh, that's cool. Sorry. So this is again all about, these two are all about creation. These two are all about, it's all about art. I'm literally drawn to the vision board part of listen to your art. There is something that really wants to be created from you. The energy wants to be transferred over to something that you can visually see, that you can visually look at, that you can remind yourself of what you're going through, You also have watch a movie. So if you don't feel like creating, if you're emotionally exhausted to the point where like doing any of this it's just not registering, then another way in which you can self-soothe, self-care, give self-compassion to yourself is by watching a movie. So especially if you want to learn more about what's going on, watching documentaries would be great, or watching YouTube videos would be great. Being able to kind of just like comfort yourself in the artworks other people have created in regards to these issues going on, or whatever you might be dealing with right now. Having that like movie to kind of just like relax and reflect upon might be really emotionally relieving for you. You know, you might cry during that movie. You might really get amped up and worked out and like be able to really like feel all the feelings that you need to feel, you know? Okay. And we're gonna get some therapeutes. You will survive this. As well as you will rise above the ashes. You will find a way to become whole again. That is such a card for you. This is actually so central. I don't know where to put this other than in the center, to be honest, because that's basically the whole reading in one card. You're strong, you are resilient, you will defeat this. So, my fellow threes, what you're learning right now is that you're shifting your mindset so that it becomes one of solution orientation, one where you can see the hope and the vision and the manufacturing of the future, you know? Things can still get you mad. Don't get me wrong. Please still emote, still feel your feelings, still go through those stages of grief, of frustration, of anger, of loneliness, of isolation, and just recognize that you don't have to stay there. You can overcome them. By giving yourself love, it's a radical act of changing the system, of changing the way in which we do politics, and changing the ways in which we love ourselves, and changing the ways in which we grow. You know, being stuck in this hanged cat position is not doing you or anyone else any favors. You know you work best, you know you work so well when you're taking care of yourself, when you get to emote, when you get to reflect, when you get to dive into things that give you hope for the future. Because having that positive attitude is the thing you're learning. Being able to change into this transformative personal growth of having a mindset that's so fresh and new and radical. It's only radical because it hasn't been done before. We've always fallen prey to all these negative emotions in the past. That's why these wars still go on. That's why these genocides still go on. That's why people harm one another. But if you've ever met someone who's healed, if you've ever met someone who's kind, you know that they don't inflict those things. They don't say stupid things. They're very self-aware. People who are kind, people who are loving, people who have that positive attitude, they will continue to be the leaders of the world. They will continue to lead those who don't know what they're doing, don't know the situation at hand, and will lend out a hand so that they can continue to change the world for the better. You will rise above the ashes and you will find a way to become whole again. I promise you, my dear Pile 3s, that you will survive this, that you are strong, you are resilient, and you will defeat this. So yeah, go watch your movies, go create some art, spend some time to really process these emotions, because it'll do you all worlds of good in regards to what you're learning is, and it will really do a world of good in transforming yourself so that you can put your best foot forward. So yeah, that's the messages I have for you. I hope this wasn't too harsh. I hope like it resonated, and it was a bit of a tough love kind of reading, but if you've stuck around, then you're a real one. And just by watching this, that's a part of learning. It's a part of self-reflecting, so take a rest, take a break. You're doing great, sweetie. Be easy on yourself. Be kind to yourself. Love you lots. Take care. Bye. Hi, my pile fours. If you've chosen this apophyllite, I might have said epiphyllite in the intro, but it's apophyllite. Apologies. And this is a reading. I hope it's capturing like the really cool crystal structure that this is. Yeah. Okay. So we're going to get your thematic cards, and then we're going to read the description of apophyllite. I just saw 33 in the clock, and it's 12:33 right now. So this is going to pertain quite heavily to your heart space. All right, so what apophyllite is, it's clarity and purification of the mind, heart, and soul, joy and lightness of the spirit. It helps one to look inside oneself for the truth and allow growth. Closest to the vibration of Reiki, meditation is the chief way of working with clear apophyllites. Focus upon entering the stone, moving your awareness into the interior of the stone. Angels are attracted to these stones, good for prophecy. The affirmation is, I open my mind and heart to the awareness of the higher realms. So we are looking at what you're learning today. And this feels like my spiritual pile. This feels like my spiritual babies. But we're going to continue on. You have change. I am changing. Practical step is, I notice my thought patterns. Our thoughts, positive and negative, affirm who we think we are. The first step to creating change is to develop an awareness of our thoughts. On a piece of paper, divide the page into 2 columns, one positive, the other negative. As a thought arises, label it positive or negative. Tally each thought in the appropriate category. Do not criticize or judge yourself. This exercise will help you expand your awareness and change your patterns. You will begin to release the negative thoughts, replacing them with positive thoughts. You also have abundance. The affirmation is, let me move this. What's here? The affirmation is, there is abundance for everyone. The practical step is, I share my abundance. Your life is full of abundance. Do you have a house, car, clothes, material possessions, a job, family, friends? Abundance is available in the physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual realms. Are you abundantly blessed? Are you peaceful, happy, and loving? Find the areas in your life where you have the abundance and share them. Can you donate money, clothes, or time to a worthy organization? Can you share your love? How can you help others? Sharing your abundance will always bring you more. Okay, so in terms of what you're learning right now, it feels like you're changing your beliefs about abundance. It feels like you're probably someone who doesn't need to do this practical step. You just kind of already meditate. You already have that awareness of self. You already have that awareness of your thought patterns, and you are learning how to have a better relationship with the abundance. It feels like, especially if you are very spiritual, it might be harder for you to be in that state of recognizing the importance of material abundance, and having that relationship with money, because a lot of the times, a lot of religions, a lot of spiritual rhetoric out there is just kind of all talk, no depth when it comes to being like, oh yeah, like material, like abundant, like not like, as in, sorry, how do I word this? It's like when they say things that shame money or shame possessions, shame resources, or the attaining of your own personal abundance, you know? It's kind of when, for example, there is this YouTuber I watch. His name is Chris. I forgot his last name, but he has this grandmother who's just passed away, so rest in peace. But he had this grandmother who he'd make a lot of YouTube videos about, and people were shaming him for using the ad revenue to get a car, to get a Tesla. And it's kind of like, well, like, this is his first car, and he's getting a car that's eco-friendly, and he's getting a car that will probably help assist him in his life so that he can assist his grandma. You know, people were really upset over that, and I think that's just so ridiculous. You know, you deserve nice things. You deserve nice things. He deserves nice things. And I think this is what you're realizing and recognizing about yourself, is being able to kind of reorient yourself to recognize that not everything is black and white. You know, there is definitely a rhetoric of shaming like finance bros too, but I think it's because of their character, their lack of self-awareness more than the actual finance themselves. I think the attachment of greed to abundance is a little, it's a little hard for a spiritual baby to kind of like recognize. You know, abundance doesn't always mean greed. You know, you can want to have nice things for yourself. That's okay. You have one life to live, and you know, if you choose to enjoy yourself and the material possessions you have, that's okay. We live in the material world. That's totally okay. It's okay for you to take that trip that you wanted to go on for a while, to experience a new country, a new cuisine, to spend a little bit more money on that food you wanted, just so you can at least experience it once, you know? It's like, I think it's how you use it and the exuberance around such use, like that's the line, you know? Like, greediness is when, oof, I hope there aren't Swifties watching this, but greediness is when things like when Taylor Swift has this, please don't come for me, but when she has this jet that she uses, because I love Taylor Swift, don't get me wrong, I don't like her politics. I like her music though. I do like her music. But like she's really gotten me through some really tough times with a lot of her more feminist anthems, especially with a lot of her love anthems as well. Don't get me wrong. I have listened to a few of those bangers, but like you can't also like, you can't condone the fact that she has the highest fuel emission count for her jet use out of literally almost everyone, you know, like, and she doesn't have a carbon offset emission kind kind of contribution that she's working towards. You know, there are ways in which she can offset the things that she's doing right now, and she's choosing not to. And that's where the problem is. That's where the greed is. That's where it becomes bad. When faced with the solution and saying, no, I'm going to double down on what I've said before. I'm going to double down on my material possession and resources and wealth and not care. Like, that's different. And again, don't get me wrong, she takes care of her crew, she takes care of her team. They all have a really wonderful salary, and she does give back in all ways. I'm not saying she's a bad person. I'm not saying she's a good person. I'm just saying she's a person, and sometimes a person with that amount of wealth should take responsibility for it. And that's the perspective you're shifting into it. You're accepting the responsibility there needs to be when it comes to abundance, and you're recognizing that just because you have abundance doesn't make you a bad person. You know, you can use your abundance for a lot of good things too. And like, I can literally just use Taylor Swift again as an example. She uses her abundance to make sure that people are cared for in her team. She uses her abundance to make sure that she philanthropically donates to X, Y, or Z charity. I don't know too much about her, so like, this is, you know, there are things that she's probably doing that we don't know of that are contributing to a beneficial aspect of creating that abundance for others as well, not just herself. But when it comes to you and what you're learning, it's really, you're changing your thought patterns when it comes to this, because there is a part of you that recognizes that, like, in order to survive in this world, in order to pay your bills, you're gonna need to, like, you're gonna need to make money. You're gonna need to step into this abundant aspect of life, and like, just know that moving forward with whatever you choose to do, whatever ways you create abundance or have abundance, is that you know how to be responsible with it. And I think that's the key here, is the responsibility of being able to not only have abundance for yourself, but to share it with others. And I think there's a fear in which you might have where you feel like, oh, like, money's gonna change you. Oh, this position of power is gonna change you. Oh, these resources are gonna change you. But know that that's only if you allow it to. You know, like, you can always change back. You can always go back to your values, your core beliefs, your kindness, your generosity, your beautiful soul. Because if you're our spiritual baby, you've gone through so many life lessons already. You've gone through so many experiences that have shown your character and shown you who you are, and shown you that you are someone not to be reckoned with. You know, you are a very strong and powerful person. And I think there's like this really famous monologue that's like, we do not fear our lack, but we fear our greatness. This is not word for word of what it is, but it's kind of that sentiment of, I feel like you're fearing the potential you have to be so great, to be so abundant. You know, I feel like you might have a hard time, especially if you are spiritual, putting a price tag on your spiritual practices, putting a price tag on your Reiki healing, putting a price tag on those gemstones, on your tarot readings, on your past life regressions, because you don't want to seem like like just this money hungry whore, but you're not. You're really not. You deserve to be able to pay your bills. You deserve to have food on your table. You deserve to be able to pay your rent, to move out of any situations that you need to have that kind of abundance where you can have that safety net for yourself. You deserve that. You really do. And it just feels like you need to hear this truth. You need to hear this in the material world, someone telling you, because this is just a reflection of your own self, of what you really truly desire, of what you really truly need. You know, you need to have that security, and that's okay. And that's okay, you know? All right. We've talked 14 minutes on these 2 cards, so let's see. Let's see if we can pull more cards for you in terms of what you're learning. You have the Hermit in reverse. Okay. You have the 3 of Cups in reverse. No, I'm not holding this in a reverse position. It's just, things are just coming out in reverse. You have the Lovers in reverse. Oof. Again, reversals aren't bad. I'm just surprised that all these cards are coming in reverse. Because again, this is this deck is not all reversed. You have the Ace of Pentacles as well as the Tower. Okay. Anything else? Thank you. Excuse me. And you have the Moon. Okay. And they're all upright, so interesting. Yeah, okay, so we're gonna do it like these are your main cards and these are your clarifiers. So when it comes to you and what you're learning, my dear pile 4s, yeah, okay. You're learning how to step out of your comfort zones. You're changing so that you can be seen, so you can get this abundance, so you can make the right choices for yourself. But there's something like you're having a really hard time with it, because with the Lovers in reverse clarified by the Moon, it feels like the choices and decisions you're making feel a bit hidden, feel uncomfortable, feel very uncomfortable. Yeah. Yeah, there's a part of you that's hiding. There's a part of you that is hiding, and because of that, it's kind of, it's causing a lot of strife in your personal connections. It's causing a lot of strife within yourself. You know, it's playing out as you don't want to step into what you know you should step into. Because the Hermit reverse it reminds us not to be scaredy cats. The world needs your wisdom. Come out of your cave and share it. That's what the Hermit in reverse is saying right now. It feels like there's this bountiful wisdom inside of you that is not wanting to be seen. Ooh. And because of that, it's creating these misunderstandings and bad communications, and it's creating a lot of mental anguish and emotional, with the cups, emotional, especially emotional anguish. And you're having this hard time, you're going back and forth with this decision of putting yourself out there. But you need to. Like, that's your calling, you know? And it feels like it's a slow, because it's Pentacles, with this Ace of Pentacles clarifying the Hermit, it's a slow kind of transition for you to be able to accept this treat, this heart, you know? To be able to accept the new beginning of you transitioning into something where you are in a position of leadership and abundance. And it feels like with this Tower card that there's this huge change that you want to make so that you don't have to be in this emotional turmoil, you know, that things aren't as messy in your life. It feels like you want to clarify some things with the choices you make. Yeah, it feels like with this Moon clarifying the Lovers, it feels like the choices you have to make, you want to make it out of intuition. You want to make sure that you're making it out of a sense of your inner desires. Don't listen to the things that will get in your way. Don't be too much in your ego by being really stubborn about this, because the thing is that having this fear is a part of being narcissistic. I'm not gonna lie. Narcissism goes on a scale, and so you can be narcissistic by being grandiose and manipulative and gaslighty. That is one end of the scale. Or you can be narcissistic by victim blaming, victim shaming, making yourself a martyr when it's not necessary, of having the fear of being seen, of making things all about you. That's still a part of the narcissism spectrum. And we all lie on this narcissism spectrum. So it's not, again, this is not to shame you. This is just to bring to your awareness that I know you're a spiritual baby and you're super kind and you're super sweet. But bringing that back into the middle, into a healthy space of narcissism, is being able to be confident in yourself, to move forward and to have this abundance for yourself, because it is waiting for you. It is waiting for you, and you need to step into that kind of position, because it is something that's racking your mind and making you upset and making even other people upset, not seeing like you take this position of power, because it's really meant for you. It really is. And the only person that's in your way is you right now. And I'm sorry to deliver this message. I don't mean to be so harsh, but this is a little bit more tough love as well. You are learning. You are growing. You might be stressed. I don't blame you if you want to click off, if you have clicked off. I do not blame you. This is hard work to go about. But as I said earlier, the heart wants what it wants. this is a very heart-spaced pile, and you lead with love. You make decisions with your heart space, knowing that that is the most accurate, that is the most well in tune part of your body, that is the most sane and secure and safe part of your body to make decisions off of. And so stepping back into it and recognizing that the abundance that you have and carry and will attain, it won't change you in the ways you think it will. It might just give you and afford you more time, more resources, more opportunities to give back. It might help you with all the philanthropic endeavors that you want to achieve. It might help you with your dreams of helping others. Abundance and flipping it up on its head and realizing the potential it has to change the world around you is something that you're learning. All right. There are some self-care things that my pile of fours can do at this time in regards to their learning. You can dance. Yeah. Put on your favorite playlist and dance the stress away. You know, grab some friends, go out clubbing, because all this emotional back and forth isn't doing you any good. You also have create art and flow like water. So there are aspects of you that want to create, want to release, want to understand. Ways in which you can self-care right now is to put yourself in positions where you get to emotionally release all the feelings you're feeling. And, you know, that might be by painting, or it could be by watching videos, or it could be by making whatever you need to make, whatever you need to be stepping in with, because there's this hermit, there's something that you're called to do. Maybe that is to create art, and sharing that. Like, I understand that it's so hard to put yourself out there, because you probably don't want to like feel like you're showing off. You don't want to make people feel bad. You're a kind and sweet soul who, well, that's the last thing that you want to do. But recognize that you are also hiding from the people that could really benefit from whatever you're creating, benefit from you, benefit from your soul, your wholeness, your benevolent nature. People are yearning for that kind of connection, and that's something that you can bring to them. So by denying them that, you know, you're just denying yourself something that you really want to. So flow like water, my friends, and dive deep into your emotions and why you feel that way. Dive deep into feeling like yourself and feeling the potential you have and feeling the fact that you can be abundant, because you're learning how to change that relationship you have with yourself and the creations you share and the abundance that you will be afforded. All right, so we're gonna get 2 more cards from the Therapet deck to close this reading off. So, what's Therapet emotional support can I pal? Number 4 you have, I know you feel anxious, but you forgot the part where you totally got this. You really do. You also have everything is scary and you feel vulnerable, but that doesn't mean anything is going to go wrong. Anxious feelings aren't usually indicative of reality. I think, yeah. you might have a lot of anxiety over the potential that you're going to create, but know you're going to do a great job. And know that you can give back, and you have such a kind heart that you deserve it. You really deserve what's coming for you because you've worked so hard for it. You are such a compassionate soul, and you are a spiritual baby that knows how to decipher yourself and control yourself and to create such beautiful things into the world. So keep doing what you're doing, and don't let your fear or your anxiety stop you. Don't let the fear of your abundance stop you, because again, you will make waves, and you'll change people's lives for the better. Just you watch. Just you watch. And I hope this helped. I hope this resonated. I hope this wasn't too harsh, and that it was the words you needed to hear. I hope you live your magical life that you deserve, because you seem like an amazing, cool person who does deserve to have that magical life that you want. Yeah. Anyways, take care. Love you lots. Bye.